The Champions League competition will change in the 2024-25 season, based upon the so-called Swiss model. The new Swiss model will have an impact on broadcasting deals that includes a variety of commercial arrangements, and also more games will take place. So what exactly is the Swiss model? The most significant change will be the elimination of the 32-team group stage in favor of a league made up of 36 teams. By all accounts, each team will compete in 10 games, 5 at home and 5 on the road, with matches which are selected by a seeding method that ranks clubs based on previous performance. After the first 10 games have been completed, the top 8 clubs in the league will be determined. Those teams will proceed to the next round automatically. The next 16 teams, on the other hand, would take part in a playoff, from which 8 winners would emerge to create a 16-team knockout stage. So are clubs excited about the changes? In essence, the Swiss model is a creative approach to arrange a competition with a large number of participants, without sending half of them home after the first round. Previously, under the old system, 16 of the 32 clubs were eliminated after 6 games. Under its proposed replacement, each participant would be guaranteed 4 more games. It will also mean that Europe's premier clubs would have more opportunities to play each other. In addition, from a commercial perspective, it is clear to see the increased frequency of such top-tier matches has an obvious appeal. More games equals more ticket sales, a bigger television audience for each club's sponsors, and most likely, more opportunity to earn a bigger pot of prize money. Instead of filling those 4 new spaces with clubs from the next strongest domestic leagues on UEFA's country coefficients list, the current idea is to give the Spanish League One an extra qualifying place, placing them on par with England, Germany, Italy. The second spot would be allocated for a team that has recently performed well in the Champions League, but would normally be required to advance through the qualifying rounds. As it stands now, the Dutch Eredivisie has no definite route to the Champions League group stage. Even Ajax, even when they reached the semifinals in 2019, they still had to go through 2 qualifying rounds to get to the next season's group stage. They would have been a clear candidate, and likely receiver, of that automatic slot under the Swiss model. However, controversial questions need to be highlighted. The 2 remaining extra places will be more controversial. Creating safety nets for failing clubs would be reserved for the clubs with the greatest club coefficient, a ranking based on European results over the previous 5 seasons, that had failed to qualify from the previous season's competition domestic campaign, but who had still finished within the other European places, 5th to 7th. In theory, this implies that the Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, or Liga 1 might have up to 6 representatives in the Champions League if 2 experienced European campaigners finish between 5th and 7th. However, there will be a catch. Each season, each of those leagues is restricted to 7 European places. In the Champions League, that would normally be 4 teams, 2 in the Europa League and 1 in the next Europa Conference League. The fact is, if a team was to require one of those lucky loser spots, then the domestic league, they would not be able to send a full amount of teams to the 2nd or 3rd tier competitions. Nonetheless, 3rd-placed teams from Russia or the Netherlands would still get a chance. Or a runner-up in Switzerland or Greece, asking why they did not qualify for Europe's elite championship. Yet a 7th-placed club in England or Italy might get the chance. The European leagues will also be concerned because Swiss model tournaments, Champions Leagues, are naturally scalable. What's to stop the European Club Association from requesting 18 games in 2027 or 34 in 2030? And with football's schedule currently packed to the brim, where would the extra room come from to allow that expansion? What is already clear is the fact even before the Swiss model starts, teams are already struggling to cope with an already jam-packed domestic and international schedule. This is not taking into account events like the World Cup and Nations Cups. Player safety is a big question which needs to be considered. Physical and mental aspects must have some bearing in this discussion. And let us not forget we are still in the middle of a global pandemic at the time of making this report, the 27th of December 2021. So the questions remain: what with plans for the World Cup to be held every 2 years, and now even more games in the Champions League? 1. How will another lockdown impact football? 2. Player safety. 3. Fans' cost of traveling. 4. Environmental impacts. 5. the quality of football, and the integrity of competition. This was Dynamic Sport Marketing. Thanks in advance for subscribing, liking, and sharing.